Sri Sebabrata Banerjee, who is business head of Odisha television, who will be giving us the experience from media industry insiders moment.
Thank you. Good morning to all of you and hello everyone. AI in media newsrooms is a very complicated and complex subject, and I would like to build a quick context to this before I even get into the subject of AI. So for the last 20 years, close to 20 years, Google has been playing around with the consumption pattern of news, how people consume news on the internet, what people consume, and how they consume. So in the early days of internet, if you can think about some 10-15 years ago, the developers of Google, see, Google never came from journalists. Google came from a bunch of developers. To them, the news was, the best news was something that carried certain keywords in the headline, carried certain specific keywords in the first paragraph, and in all the meta information, meta data that you create while you publish an article on the internet. Very unfortunately, shaped the contour of the digital media industry in the next 15 or 20 years to come. And after these 20 years, what do we see on Google? Whenever you search on Google something, what do you see? You see 10 results, out of which 8 may not be of any specific value to you. Suppose you are trying to search for something deep on Google, and the first 7 to 8 results that you get on Google is of no use to you. They are just surfacing because they are properly keyword optimized, and all these media houses have all these SEO people who do that. And this is how, in the last 10-15 years, the whole of Google, the whole of internet has slowly become a garbage bin. And then came 2022 or 2021, when the AI race has seriously started. GPT-1 came in, GPT-2 came in. I'm talking about an era where ChatGPT-3 still didn't exist. So during GPT-1 and GPT-2, when these models, which were actually borrowed from the concept was borrowed from a research paper which was actually done by Google. Companies like OpenAI, they went a leap ahead of everyone else. And they showed people how really, content generation in some form, it may not be accurate, it may not be, highly useful, but some form of spontaneous organic content generation is possible. And that is also the time when Google took note of this. And Google realized that they are miles behind of these new age companies who with just 450, 500 employees can make a global impact. And Google has become a behemoth by them. They take years to move, to make certain changes in their operations and all that. But they were very confident because the whole publication ecosystem has been under the confine, within the bubble of Google. Publishers use Google Analytics. Publishers measures their search performance. I'm talking about the digital publications especially. I'm not talking about newspapers. So digital publishers measure their performance using Google Analytics. They measure their content performance using a tool called Search Console. They used to earn a lot of their ad revenues from a Google ecosystem. There is a base level Google ad management system. There is this programmatic ecosystem from where a lot of media buys happen. All these media agencies that we see these days, that the big six, like Group M, Dentsu and all that, they buy huge monies from Google platform and they are routed through the Google platform to the publication ecosystems. So publishers, in essence, they live within the Google bubble, and that's why Google was very confident. But when the responses of ChatGPT 3 or maybe ChatGPT 3.5 or 4 were being increasingly compared with Bard and Gemini that came up from Google, people understood that the qualities, the responses just don't compare. I mean, these new companies like Anthropic, OpenAI are way ahead of Google. And that is the time they understood that something wrong has happened, and they understood that they have to clean up the internet. They understood the training data that they created out of their internet search results or the indexes of the content that they have created for over 10, 15 years, that has to be cleaned. And they immediately changed the head of Google search, and they got somebody who's from entirely AI background. And that lady who came in to head the operations, she said that it's full garbage now and we have to change it. So after 20 years, creating such a mayhem in the publication industry and decreasing the quality, reducing the quality of internet content. I mean, what happened, newspapers still retain a certain amount of content quality, but if you go to online publications, you will see there are many actors, many players in the market who don't have any publication background, who should not be in the media industry. But they are doing it because they understood that there are certain ways, if they follow certain techniques, it's easy to earn some money. But Google shifted its gear 2 years ago, and all these new core updates came up, and they started saying, thankfully, after 20 years, they understood what is good content. They understood a good content is something with context, something that answers people's queries properly, and something that people find useful, not like the 10 blue links that appear on your search engines whenever you try to search something. And that is the reason why a lot of serious searchers, people who are in the research business, they have shifted from Google. They use something else. They use perplexity.ai, or they might be using something else, or they have on their own custom research engines. So that thing happened. Now what happened? Just as Google shifted gears, a lot of media companies are finding it very difficult to adapt to the new order of the day. What is the new order of the day? Till date, 80%, 85% of the media companies, what they have been doing, they are any media company who could optimize their content to certain extent, they could game the Google algorithm to some extent, where ranking higher on search engines, and they were earning a lot of revenues. That thing has changed, suddenly changed, and over the last 2-3 years, a lot of non-serious players who have been doing good business have totally gone out of business. So this is a very complex situation in the digital media industry, where people were trained over 2 decades to do things in a certain way, and suddenly they have been told to think in the other way. So what is the impact? The impact is that the traditional keyword optimization has no value. Second impact, you have to write good content, which was always true, but Google made us forget that. Third, you have to build enough context in your story. And that enough context doesn't just mean that you just write paragraphs after paragraphs. It's not like that. You have to create enough content topic association on the pages. You have to create enough link association on the pages. And all these things, I think big publishers have enough resources to do that. But I have been working with, before joining Odisha TV as the business head, I was working with some of the reputed national level media companies as their AI consultants and supplying them AI tools. And they were at a loss. Most of the people, people who came from traditional technical background were finding it very, very difficult to adapt to the new system. For example, for a reputed media organization, one of my, the editor was my friend, the digital editor, and he was telling, over the last 2 years, we have done 250 POCs, and only 2 has been deployed in the actual production. So this is the state. So now let me tell you, so this is a very complex scenario. So you can do a lot of things using AI, and you should not do a lot of things using AI as well. Typically in the Hindi industry, the kind of requirements I have been getting is that, can we create a synthetic video? I said, no, sorry, the technology is not stable and reliable enough to create a synthetic video using a real person. Can we dynamically create photographs of celebrities? I said, no, that is ethically not correct. You cannot do that. So all such strange requests were coming up. But the areas where actually you can do value addition using AI, I'm not talking about content creation, that is still a very controversial subject, though serious advancements have been made in the last couple of months, and using fine-tuning, in-context learning, and situational learning, you can create very meaningful qualities in some of the non-analytical contents. But where AI can seriously help media organization is research. Research is one of those things which have kind of vanished from Indian media landscape. Journalists were told you have to publish 20 stories a day, isn't it, sir? Digital media journalists were told, nobody spoke to them about quality. They were told, no, you have to publish 25 stories a day. So if a human being is asked to write 25 stories a day, and if he is judged according to that, now when will he get the time to do research? He will get a PTI copy, he will get an NI or Reuters copy and just change the headline and publish it verbatim. That's what he will do. So that ability has gone. So some of the serious news organizations, they are now trying to use AI to create custom research. Now let me very quickly tell you where it adds the value. AI can be used to automate the research, and AI can be used to train a research tool to do it in your way. AI can be trained to look for certain topics on the internet unless you find reliable and useful information from it. So in our organization, we are trying to do that. We are not trying to write using AI. Of course not. There is Lisa. Of course, and as he said, Lisa seriously helps us, reach out to the audiences. There is this novelty value, and a lot of people, even in the tier 2, tier 3 cities, people are discovering this, and there is this novelty value. This is AI and all that, which is not so much in the urban, okay? But I believe where the real value will be coming in is the research. Let me tell you what, the kind of stuff that we are trying. All this while, our publications have been publishing loads of news items. The television team has been creating a lot of scripts for videos. They were creating videos. The digital teams have been creating news items in the scripts in both Odia and English languages, and they were going into our archives, our databases. Now these databases, the traditional databases in all these website companies are basically dump databases. You cannot query them. The moment you tell your tech guy, okay, I have to query this over there, they will say, no, sir, the system will become very slow, the website speed will go down. So AI has made it possible to do a real-time search into your entire database and find only the useful information that you require. Previously, what used to happen? Suppose you create a Google on your database, on all the millions of stories that you have written. So you search Google, do a custom search, Google brings you all the blue links, custom search links of those stories. What AI can do? AI will not stop not stop there. A proper RAG-based vector search engine will actually understand and contextualize your query and look into the database and only find the information which is relevant to your stuff. Okay? So that saves huge amount of time. You don't have to sift through thousands of links, out of which 800 is not useful. You are only getting probably 5 to 6 nuggets which the engine understood is very important for your article, and most of the time it's very accurate. For a human being to do this kind of search, to do information retrieval at such a, at a blazing speed is practically impossible. It's not possible. None of you can do it. Second thing, suppose you are writing an article and you need to do a quick internet search. Where will you go? You will go to Google, but now there are better ways. So you build a custom AI-driven search engine, and it will do exactly the way our archival search occurs. It will go through all the possible links related to your topic on the internet, find out what is most important, and will give you the only important topics. Will give you, if you tell it, give me the top 5 internet results, which is closest matching to my requirement, it will give you that. And the AI systems can be trained on that. Of course, it's much more complex than, than what, the way I am saying, but it's possible, and we had the prototypes and we are already using it. Okay. So basically we are, we know that we can do a lot of things. We can create a lot of content using AI, but we are not walking that path at this moment. I don't believe that the technology is at that level of intelligence. We are waiting for January release of OpenAI, when they are coming up with the GPT agent, which they are saying is probably one baby step towards the AGI. But we are trying to help our journalists write better content, write content much faster. And at the same time, we are also trying to resolve some of the workflow situations. There are many workflow nodes in our digital publication system where you don't really need a human being. These are mundane works like meta information writing in an article, which AI does very well, better than a human being does. Okay, quick stuff like you have an article and you have to quickly convert it into a VO script for a television story. You can do that using AI. So, of course, and there is, for these AIs, there is no end of learning. They keep learning forever. You can keep training them. One major challenges that we have in the industry is the data preparation, because our, the traditional people that we have in the system are not equipped enough to create data. So we are having to look into the automatic ways of data preparations. So we will be there. So basically helping journalists write better, helping journalists cope with the new shift of gear that Google has taken, and making their content much more meaningful, add much more context, depth in both text articles and videos that we are creating. I believe this is where the real use cases for the next 2-3 years are going to be. But changes are happening at a breakneck speed. Every 6 months the scenario is changing, new models are coming up. And probably, if we talk after 6 months, the scenario would have completely changed and we would discuss something on a very different perspective. So there is no finite statement on anything. But yes, we can salvage and we can regain a lot of lost qualities that we had from our newsrooms using AI and using less resources. So I believe I would always try to take it on a positive note. Thank you very much.